Hello Internet, it is Adam. Today is Wednesday, August 26th. Thanks for watching Hop on Hashtags. I'm here today with my wife.
Hello.
You have heard her voice in previous Hop on Hashtag videos. This is your first chance getting to see her. So that's super exciting. Today's video is going to be on romance. Why romance, you ask? August is National Romance Awareness Month. I had never heard of this month before I Googled it, but apparently exists. I came across today a recent study, and I thought this was kind of interesting. They polled single people and people in relationships, and 78% of them said that they consider romance in a relationship very important. Now, that's great, but my question I asked Sherri at dinner was like, there's 22% of people then who don't think romance is very important. I don't get that. I don't know who those people are. Hopefully you're watching this video.
Take notes.
Take notes. So why us? Why would we talk about this? Next month, we will celebrate our 10-year anniversary. So we are not experts, but we have learned some things along the way. And I do think that romance is something that we both highly value.
Yes.
Like, this is something that has contributed to our marriage. I don't want to say more than anything, but certainly like on that top tier, level. And so I'm going to start out with a question to both Sherri and I. The question is, Sherri,
Yes.
What is the most romantic thing I have ever done?
This one's difficult because he's really, really good at being romantic. But the one that I came up with is actually before we got married, before I even moved up here from Indiana. I was up here visiting, and we were driving around town, and he pulled into a gas station and said he needed to use the restroom. So I waited in the car, and he came out with a gas station rose, just one. Now, this thing probably cost $5 or less, but the fact that he went out of his way to buy me a crappy rose was really cool for me, and I knew then that this was going to be a thing. Like, he was gonna let me know that he was thinking about me, that he was putting me first, that he was wanting to do something special for me. So I think that was one of the most romantic things he did, and it was silly, but it was great. It was right at the very beginning of a relationship. We weren't even technically dating at that point.
Yeah.
So,
you know what I love about that story is that, like, I've bought you dozens of flowers since then.
but that's the one that I remember.
And that's what I love about that story is that, you know, and that really was like when she told me that was the thing, I was like, it's so dumb. But
12 years ago,
but
and I still remember it.
But at the same time, like, that's what I love about it, is that you never know the thing you do, no matter how small or insignificant it seems to you, that's going to be that thing that 12 years later, like, still makes a difference.
Yep.
That was a good $4.99 that I spent.
Yeah, it was.
That's a good $4.99. So my biggest thing, most romantic thing you've done, is something you do a lot, actually. And that has to do with, like, just letting me be me. Now, that sounds kind of selfish, but what I mean by that is that there are things that I love that you do not care about. Primarily anything to do in the realm of sports, right? So football, fantasy football, going to baseball games in the summer, any of that kind of stuff. Sherri does not enjoy, but knows that I love it, and so is intentional about making time for me to love those things.
Yes.
So it's like when the Seahawks go to the Super Bowl, the question isn't, oh man, I've got to ask Sherri if I can go, and kind of like, you know, like kind of stressing about it. It's you saying, like, you're going. Yeah, you're going.
So make it happen.
What
do we need to cut back to make sure you can go?
Yeah, and so like when I do fantasy football drafts, you know, those are nights that she knows that I have, and so I haven't blocked out. You know, she's great about saying, okay, make sure you order wings, make sure you order pizza, like fully enjoy this thing that you love. And you do that all the time, and I really appreciate that, because I think a lot of times when you enter marriages, you feel like you have to give that stuff up, but you actually encourage those things in me that I love to do, even though you don't love to do them. Like,
right. And vice versa.
Yeah, hopefully. The next thing we're going to ask here, okay, Sherri, a romance tip for the ladies watching. What would you tell them?
I would say do the unexpected things, little surprises. Send him flowers. I was shocked when I first heard that he liked to get flowers, because I was like, that's a girl thing, but it's totally not. Boys like getting flowers and surprises too. So I'll surprise him at work with flowers, have them sent, bring them myself, bring them home, whatever. And not just flowers, but just little a candy bar. You know, it's just little, bring him home with Snickers, he's good.
That's romance. Well, I think that it breaks up like kind of the mundane. You know what I mean? It's unexpected, and I think that's a big thing when it talks to romance. When we're talking about romance, is what are those unexpected things that kind of like, you know, it's like when I see a florist come to work and those flowers are for me, it's like, oh, I mean, that's like, that's awesome, right? Like, that's pretty cool. So yeah, I love that kind of stuff. My tip for guys, so while we should be doing things for our ladies, like small things all the time, right? Like we should have lots and lots of kind of ongoing things that we're doing to show her, whether it's text messages or emails or flowers or whatever those are. But every now and then, like, go big, like love extravagantly. You know, I think that's really important that, you know, I think of our Taylor Swift trip recently. This is the second time I've taken you to see her, but both times I've given you those presents, like you've cried.
Yeah.
Like it's a big deal to her. Now, those trips financially don't make sense. Like, it does not make sense.
She doesn't come to Alaska, let's be clear.
Yeah, so we're talking airline tickets and all that.
We have to fly to see her.
And so they don't make sense, but I have never regretted going big on certain things because like I see what it does to you, and in turn, like I see what it does to like our marriage. You know, and so I think that ongoing things all the time, guys, you need to be doing that. But every now and then, plan for something that is that is just awesome, that is extravagant.
And it doesn't have to be costly. It doesn't have to be.
That's true.
Be creative. Think about something that would make her super happy, that is out of the ordinary, out of the mundane, and do it.
Yeah, love it. Now we have 2 tips for couples that are watching, or I guess anybody, because I mean, hopefully, you know, if you're going to be in a relationship someday. The first one of those, this is a huge one for us, intentionality. You know, all of us are busy. We all live busy lives, right? And so if you're not intentional about romance, it's probably not going to happen, or at least not very often. An example I think of is we love going to shows, right? Plays, musicals, that kind of stuff. But if we don't plan ahead for those things, we forget they're happening, and then we kind of miss out on the opportunity. So we subscribe to a local concert association. Right now we have tickets for 5 shows over the next 6 months.
Which is cheaper in the long run than buying each show individually.
Oh, sure. So that's true. So we save money by subscribing. It kind of sounds like an infomercial now. But right now, so those are 5 dates in the next 6 months that we know, almost a date a month, that we know we're gonna have this romantic evening around something we love. We're intentional about that. I think that intentionality is super important. Guys, take your phone, plug your anniversary into it, please, if you don't know it. But more than your anniversary, put her birthday in there. Put your 6-month anniversary, so halfway to your anniversary. Put the anniversary of your first date, the anniversary of when you got engaged. If your wife gets flowers on the anniversary of when you got engaged, probably going to be a good day, right?
Yep.
Probably going to be a good day.
She knows it.
Oh, guaranteed she knows it. Our cat just ran by. Guaranteed she knows it. So be intentional. Like, put that stuff in your phone and just make it, yeah, just do that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. And the last one, tip for couples and people.
Turn it up.
Turn it up. What we mean by this is that there is this mentality that we do a lot of stuff when we're pursuing somebody, like in dating or engagement. So we're trying to woo them. That's exactly right. Yet when we're married, it's like, check, like game over, right? Like I've got her, I can stop that.
And him.
And him, that's true.
It works both ways.
Both sides do this. The reality is though, is that whatever effort you put into trying to win the person, you need to increase when you're trying to keep the person. Like, the day of marriage doesn't mean you stop date nights. It means you start having more of them. And so, so I think that's, I don't know.
There's a lot more to lose once you're married. There's a lot more at stake.
Yeah, that is true. It's like when you're, even though like dating relationships or engagements that are broken off, there's like loss there and there's hurt there. When you start talking about divorce and broken marriages, you get to this like,
it's a whole new level.
Yeah, it's like a heart level, soul level, like tearing that happens there. And so, whatever you did to win the person, man, you need to increase that to keep her, to keep him. So so turn it up. So be intentional about those things, but then do them with more regularity. The wedding day was not the end. It was
the beginning.
The beginning. So, National Romance Appreciation Month. There are still 5 days, I think, left in the month, right? The 26th, there's 31 days.
Yep.
Yep, so you have 5 days to be romantic. Figure something out. In fact, I would love for you to post in the comments below something that you are going to do in the next 5 days, whether it's extravagant and huge, or whether it's just something that just kind of is gonna say, you know what, I just need to let her or let him know that I still love them, that I'm, you know, in love with them, that I'm thinking about them. Post in the comments below what you are going to do, but do something. That is one thing I will say. I think that I have tried a lot of things with you as far as like in the romance area. Some of them were pretty horrible, like kind of failures in, it's like they didn't make you cry like Taylor Swift tickets.
Right.
But you have, like, everything I've done, you always appreciate.
I know that you're thinking about me and that you love me.
There you go. So just do something, right?
Do something.
There you go. Do something.
Value the other person.
Value the other person. 10 years of marriage. Almost. Thanks for watching. See you guys soon.